How are we, my friends? You are very welcome along to a rather disappointed Anfield Agenda player ratings video. As always, we're going to go through the players, the manager, the substitutes and the referee. I'll give them all a score out of 10. Each player card will have 2 scores on them. The upper right hand corner is the average Anfield Agenda audience score, and the large square in the centre is my score. If you would like to submit your player ratings in the future, make sure you're signed up to the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp by scanning the QR code in the bottom right hand corner. Look, before I get stuck into this, I want to say the manager has to go for me at this point. It isn't an anger thing, it's a frustration thing and a no sign of things changing. These players are going out there and having to try and rescue it late over and over. Even think back to last season. How many times were we looking to win games late? No going out there from the start, from the first whistle and getting stuck in. Always have to rescue it late. It's tiresome and it just cannot continue. So if you are an Arna in person, please, no problem with that, but please do let me know in the comments what you're seeing that perhaps I am, because right now, myself and many other Liverpool fans I speak to just feel sad and heartbroken at this point. But anyway, I digress. Let's get stuck into the scores. And we'll start off with the referee, Stuart Atwell. I don't really know what to say on the refereeing performance, to be honest. I don't think he was good. I don't think he was bad. He didn't really cause too much fuss, so I guess that means it was a decent enough refereeing performance. But look, I'm going to give him a score of 6 because I don't remember too many things that really angered me from him today. Don't remember any major decisions that he got wrong. So yeah, I'm going to go with a 6 for Stuart Atwell's performance, and the audience have gone for a 4.1. Moving into Alisson Becker. One of the first times ever I've watched Alisson and I felt that he was a bit jittery and a bit nervy. The one that he almost pushed onto the crossbar was a save, but it was a save that was easier than he made it look. On top of that, I thought his distribution was off today. A couple of times he passed the ball straight out, missed his man. I just think the jitteriness set from the back right out. And it's probably the first time I've ever said I feel a little bit let down by an Alisson performance. But, you know, he certainly has plenty of credit in the bank. But today I just don't think he was that good. So I'm going to say a 5 for me. And it's a 5.2 for the Anfield Agenda audience. Do let me know, though, if you agree in the comments on him. Just looking and feeling a little bit more jittery there tonight between the sticks. Next up, Joe Gomez. Look, Joe wasn't the fault of that performance tonight, but we didn't see as good as a performance from Joe as perhaps we've seen against West Ham. That being said, the buck has to stop with the manager, and the lack of aggression that's in that team, I think, stems from him. Joe did okay tonight, and it's good to see him out there getting more minutes. So I'm going to give him a 5.5, and the Anfield Agenda audience have gone for a 5.3. Hopefully Joe can stay fit, because I dare say there's plenty more minutes for him this season if he can. Hopefully at centre-back, because Canade, well, we'll move on to him now in a second. And here he is, Ibrahim Canade. Another huge mistake that could have and maybe should have cost us a goal, where he's misjudging the ball yet again. Still far too concerned with wrestling people. And the final straw was a big laugh and a joke at the end of the match with the opposition player after another turgid performance. And he wasn't alone. The manager was on board with that as well. It just wasn't good enough from Canade today, nor his centre-back partner. So for me, Canade gets a 4. And the audience have gone a little bit higher with a score for Canade of 4.2. Next up, Virgil van Dijk, who gave it the big one. Gave it the big one to the media before the match, talking about owing the fans a performance. The last few games at Anfield haven't been good enough, and tonight they want to put that right. How did that go, Virgil? Because you cost us that goal twice. One, by giving the ball away, and secondly, from your passive defending again. Won't go out and close down his man. You watch how teams defend against us when we have the ball on the edge of the box. Running, throwing themselves in the way to get a block in. Not our centre-backs. No. They're too cool to get their socks dirty. They just stand there, stick their leg in their arse out and hope for the best. Only time and time again, there's a ricochet that ends up costing us. Here's one for you, Virg. Close them down. Put your body on the line. Tackle. Don't stand off. Don't tempt them to shoot. Do your job. Not good enough, Virgil. Not good enough. 4 today for the captain, and as you can see, the audience think that's too generous, as they've gone even lower with a 3.7. How bad have things gotten? Where between us, we're going 4 and 3.7 for a man who was once the most feared defender in the world. That's how bad things have gotten. Next up, Andy Robertson. Arna explained before the game that he put Robbo in today because Kirkes felt a bit of cramp at the end of the game. And I thought you could see the difference today because he wasn't getting into the positions Kirkes was. I thought Andy Robertson was too narrow at times today. And again, like Gakpo ahead of him, just kept checking back on the inside. There was loads of space to make that pitch wider, and I was screaming during the game for him to hold that width. Now, I don't know, it must be under instruction, but it was far too narrow, and it hindered us. So today, I just don't think it was a good performance from Robbo. So I've given him a 5.5, and the audience have gone for a score there for Andy of 5. Into midfield. Again, don't think Ryan was great, and we were too easy to play through the middle. Time and time again, teams can just waltz through the middle of our midfield and our defence. And at the end of the game, this isn't on Ryan, by the way, but at the end of the game, we were so fortunate not to lose that because we were committing bodies forward, one ball from their goalkeeper, straight through the heart of our midfield and defence, and only for Chiesa, we'd have lost. And don't forget that. We would have lost if it wasn't for the man that the manager has put out in the cold. So anyway, for Ryan Gravenberch, it's a score of 5 for me today. And the audience feel exactly the same with a score of 5 for Ryan. Next up, Alexis McAllister. I don't think he was great. Not enough fight, not enough snap in the midfield, not enough aggression, and not enough class, which is not something we usually say about Macca. Just hasn't been at the races this season, but then again, nor has the rest of the team. So the score for me today for Alexis McAllister is a 5.5, and the audience have gone even lower with a score there for Alexis of 4.6. Do let me know, though, your thoughts on Macca's season in the comments if you can. Next up, one of the few bright lights this season, Dominic Szoboszlai. But today, we resorted to him having to shoot from distance again. And I've got to say, I was disappointed in him for a couple of things. That last corner was a disgrace, not beating the first man at the end of the game with a corner that was no higher than knee height. After that, it was just aimless cross after aimless cross from him and many others with nobody in mind to pick out. It feels like these guys don't believe in the manager. It really, really does feel like that. Dom is better than we've seen tonight. We know that. So today, I'm giving him a score of 6, and the audience have gone for a 5.8. He was probably one of our better players, but it was still a low, poor performance from his standards. Next up, Wirtz, who is getting better game on game. I thought his first touch was off tonight on a few occasions. It was a little bit loose. The footwork for the goal was great, but he got a bit fortunate because, of course, it was going wide, so it'll go down as an own goal, and correctly so. But again, you can see the quality that he has. I don't think he was as good tonight, personally, as he was against West Ham, but I still think he needs to be played and kept out there. So for me, I'm giving him a 6.5, and the audience have gone even higher with a score there of 7. Cody Gakpo, awful, shocking. And I'm a defender of Cody most weeks. Shocking. So obvious. Won't take his man on. Cuts inside, goes into traffic, slows us down. It's just not good enough. And this attempt of shooting all the time, it just needs to stop. We need to create overloads. We need to go around the outside. We need to give the fullback something to think about. They know what we're going to do. They're ushering him inside. It's just too predictable. And it's a symptom of the manager's problem. It really, really is. So a 3 for me for Cody today. That's how bad I thought he was. And it's a 3.7 from the audience. But of course, we do want to know what you're thinking. So let me know in the comments. Next up, Isak. There's 2 trains of thought here. You can look at this situation and say Isak was invisible. Or you can look at it and say that he isn't up to fitness and also the players haven't got a clue what to do with him. And I think that's probably the truth. They don't know his movements. They aren't giving him anything to work with. Too many touches, late crosses, not quick enough, not giving him anything to fight for. So yes, he hasn't been at his best. But for a team that brought in a £125 million striker, we have no idea of how to get the best out of him. None. And that's down to the manager's tactics. It's not good enough. So for Isak, I'm giving a 5 because, look, his performance wasn't great. But he's been starved of anything. Nothing to fight for. No supply. 0. So 3.8 from the audience, by the way, for Isak. Mohamed Salah. And sorry, before we move on to Salah, how must Hugo Ekitike be feeling now? How is he getting benched when he's been the one bright spot in attack? Now, I'm not saying Isak shouldn't play, but why not put Ekitike on the left? It's madness. Next up, Mohamed Salah. For what it's worth, I think his crosses and his set pieces from corners were brilliant. And it astounded me that he wasn't taking the last corner, because I do think his delivery from them have been brilliant. Tonight was some of the same again, unfortunately, for Mo. Running straight into people, passing the ball straight at people, and again, some good 1-2s and some good work down that right-hand side. It was certainly a little bit better for Mo, I will say that, but still symptomatic of the whole team. Just nobody performing to their levels, and they look devoid of enthusiasm and certainly devoid of aggression. So for Mo, I'm going to give a 6, because I do think it was a decent cameo from him off the bench. And the audience gave him a 4.2, so obviously they think a little bit differently, but I thought at least the set-piece delivery was giving us something. And there was some good connections down the right with him and Gravenberch, him and Szoboszlai, but he's still not anywhere near the level we know he's capable of. Curtis Jones, who came out with some of the biggest load of pony I've ever heard after the game, talking about us having aggression. Excuse me, Curtis? Aggression? We look like weak kittens out there. And then somehow, because we took more shots, that counts for something? Dude, we 23 shots and 4 on target. It's an embarrassment to say anything else. And he has spoken sincerely in recent weeks about standards. But I don't know where he was at tonight, because I very strongly disagree with him. We were awful and there was no aggression. So for me, it's a 5.5 for Curtis and it's a 5.4 from the audience. Next up, Ugo Ekitike. And look, he looked lively when he came on. At least tried to make things happen. Still don't know why he didn't start. Should have started. Should be starting. But again, tried his best when he came on. But we just don't look like we have any rhythm or synchronicity in our attack. Just looks like individuals out there rather than a team that knows what they're doing. So for Hugo, it's a 6 for me, because like I said, he tried to do it when he came on. He fought and he always lifts the crowd. He should be playing from the start, and that's another indictment of this manager. And it's a 5.2 from the audience for Hugo. Fede, the man who was being absolutely hung out to dry by Arna, may have ironically saved him his job, or at least delayed the inevitable. Without that man, we'd have lost that game tonight. He absolutely broke his backside to get back there and defend, and it's to his absolute credit. The fans love him, I love him, and the manager's hanging him out to dry. This man deserves more game time than he's getting. Whether you think he's the greatest player in the world or not, he cares. And right now, that stands for a lot with me. So Fede, well done. He's my man of the match, just for that bit of work at the end alone. So I'm giving him a 7. And look, the audience are agreeing. 7.3 for Fede. Milos. Again, when he came on, you could see at least he was holding the width and making those overlapping runs that Robertson wasn't. Look, I understand if the manager said he had cramp why he didn't start him. Okay on that one. But he looked like he made a difference to us when we came on. At a time where, yes, it was desperation stakes. But I think he should start against Leeds. Just my opinion. So I'm giving him a 6. Because I actually thought he did look decent when he came off. Full of energy. And it's a 4.7, by the way, for the audience. And lastly, Arne Slot, who should be fired. I've nothing else to add to it. He won't turn it round. He can't turn it round. And he's laughing at the end of the game. Laughing. All of us are absolutely fuming, heartbroken, sad. And he's laughing. And he's coming out with more crap about Sunderland's chance not even being a chance. He's just clueless. I take no pleasure in saying it. But anybody who does think that the manager should stay, please let me know why. Because I'm not seeing it and it isn't getting better. So for me, he gets a 5. And the audience, look at that score. That tells you all you need to know. 2.2. I don't know if I've ever seen the score that low. People have had enough. James Pearce tweeted at half-time to say Anfield was growing restless. And I don't blame them. It's not good enough. We deserve better. You deserve better. So folks, that's it for tonight's player ratings. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you once again for your continued support. We will get through this, but I don't know what it's going to take for them to get rid of this manager, because he needs to go. We'll talk soon. Much love.